Welcome to CarSceneKorea. I introduce newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars. And the car I have behind me today is Genesis G90, but not just one, another Genesis G90. I'll be going back to back and give you the comparison of the exterior because this is the test driver that I have, and I happen to find the previous model parked right next to the car. They're not exactly the same color because the RS4, which is the code name for this brand new G90, this is Hallasan Green. Hallasan means Halla mountain, and it's a mountain in Jeju Island, the most southern part of South Korea, but they have similar colors. I gotta say that I actually love the wheel on the previous model. Shield looking like one of the best wheels, and I think it's really best fitting when it comes to the high-end luxurious cars like Genesis G90. Since I have the car right next to one another, let me go back to back how they look and differ. Let's get started with this headlights. This is like the best part that RS4 Genesis G90 pointed out. Look at this. The headlights got really thin, and it requires a lot of technology in order to make a headlight of this size. Genesis aims to have the lights all together as a solid line at the end of the day, which was found on Genesis Concept X. I've covered that intensively in person, so go check that video out right here. Double line identity for the Genesis brand. Once more, I really want to point out that the grille here, they have a different color, like the copper kind of chrome finish that Genesis is pursuing. And also Genesis has said that the copper is the brand color and evidently found in navigation system. You can find the color a lot throughout user infotainment system inside as well. Exterior wise, I've covered it extensively in other previous videos, so go check that out. There's also the long wheelbase version that I've covered, so don't miss that out. But I really have to point out this edge right here that resembles the tip of the shield, and also this crest grille and the double line going sideways is actually what resembles the wing of this emblem and the Genesis brand, as you can see. That's also found on the previous model as well. This is the best part when you have the car back to back. Look at this emblem. So this is the previous emblem that Genesis had. You can see that they have used that line pattern, the character line right here, that emphasizes the Genesis emblem, whereas it's just sitting neatly and nicely all by itself right here. And this is actually the brand new Genesis emblem that they have put in. And also on GV60, what you see, what I've explained over here, the brand identity with the crest grille right here, wings going sideways, that resembles the emblem. What's your favorite between the two? Tell me in the comment below. I really actually like the look of the previous model a lot. Like, this looks very masculine, a lot of straight lines, edges here and there. I just love how the fender line goes in right here, that is warped and wraps around the car. And just look at this profile. Just let's see the profile back to back. You can see that there is a strong character line that runs all the way to the front of the car, to the side, and that's also continued all the way to the rear fender right there. However, you can see the curve is used right here. There is no straight line. Maybe there's a character line on the profile right here, but not as strong or defined as the previous model. And on Genesis GV60 have used one whole piece as a design where there is no line that's carved out, one continued design altogether. I think we can see some of the design cue of that on this G90 as well. Let's check out the wheels right here. Somewhat shield looking like wheels. That shield looking like wheel is actually reserved for G90 long wheelbase model. Again, inserting the footage right now, but I love that pattern as well with good old 5-spoke pattern in general. And this pattern is actually what Genesis calls G matrix pattern. That's found on the front of the grille, but also on the wheels as well. So that wheel versus that. And I know that not many people actually do like the shield wheels, but I actually love this wheel a lot. What do you say? So let's look at the tire size. 245, 45, 19, 245, 45, 20. So it's bigger by an inch and same numbers. This is the profile, so same numbers. That means this car has bigger diameter all throughout. Let's look at the real wheel as well. This time starting with the RS4 G90, 275, 40, 20. And here, 275, 40, 19. So they have the exact same tire size, well, except for the end portion, it's 19 versus 20. So that means the RS4 G90 got bigger wheel in diameter overall. 19 versus 20. And by no means is this a light car. This G90 is heavy. However, with air suspension that's been applied both front and back and all throughout, it provides a very, very smooth ride quality. This is like the most luxurious Korean cars out yet. Best ultimate car from Genesis, and that is the previous model. I absolutely love it. The double line identity is somewhat less profound compared to this one, obviously, but we can see that there is the quad lights, and that's how Genesis was pursuing the identity on the earlier versions, whereas this is completely a double line. This headlight enables this side repeater to be a complete design as a whole. Look at this, even the size and the way that it's been laid out on the profile, it fits beautifully. And is it flush with the door handle as well? I don't think so, but here, oh, so you see, they've done the same with the earlier version as well. Double line still is right there, however, they have only put one side marker right here, so the design is actually continued with what's front of the car. What do you think is the biggest difference when it comes to the front design? I actually want to point out the tip of the shield, because on an older version it comes all the way down to the end of the front bumper. As you can see, horizontal line for the lower front lip. However, that's not it for the brand new car. And also the sensors, it's put right in the center. As you can see, it's covered with the acrylic plates, and the sensors are here, the front camera right there. However, the radar sensor is on the right, on the left is a dummy. Because of that, now the G90 has much cleaner look compared to the previous model. There is no plate in the middle, yet there is a camera for the surround view, and it's actually very useful when it comes to a big size car like Genesis G90. That being said, let's go to the back and see how they differ from the rear view. Now I'm back of the G90s, and wow, they are literally like the same car in their versions. So G90, that's H-track. That's what all-wheel drive means for Genesis G90, and with the 3.8 model. And this car is also all-wheel drive, as you can see right there, with the loaded option. So I'm really comparing the same version of the predecessor right back to back. The double line identity is definitely complete on the latest version, where the two horizontal line is flawlessly continued. And this actually, the matrix pattern performance, the welcoming light, looks amazing during the nighttime. Inserting right now. When you are actually behind of this car during the nighttime, this is saying out loud that, hey, I'm Genesis. There's a Genesis right in front of you. Double lined, strong red horizontal lines, whereas this version has a, well, the whole red bars, what you see in front of you, actually lights up during the nighttime, but it's not double line yet, just the one long horizontal line underneath with two broken lights on the top. Genesis, I think the font and the size are nearly, if not exactly the same. Perhaps that one is a little bigger. So the trunk button with the camera right there, same thing, trunk button, camera. Don't forget about the exhaust tip. Actually, I really like. The shield design is also embedded on the tip, exhaust tip as well, on the older version and also the newer one. let's actually see the actual exhaust tip. So it looks like that it stretches out somewhat like that, and so I think it looks quite similar. This is what the bottom looks like for the older version, and what the bottom looks like for the newer version. As you can see, both cars are parked all the way to the stopper. Let's go and see what the differences are for the length, the wheelbase. Yep, we can see the newer one got a little bit longer, as the number says. The specs are in the description below in terms of the sizes and the numbers, so don't miss that out. Again, the best thing when we have the car back to back, we can compare the car just like that. So the older version does not stick out whatsoever. One evidence that this car is longer, and will be more evident when it's shot from this angle. Like that. So do you see the difference? It's merely the same. So that number is a bit hard to tell in real life. I gotta point this out. I've said this on my POV videos as well, but this flag type glass that Genesis has implemented, starting with the Genesis G90, the SUV model, it provides additional less of the blind spot by having this tiny mirror right here that was not here on the previous model. So that is one of the big differences, I guess. Well, let me show you what it looks like from the inside. Get inside the car, close the door, and that's what I mean by the flag type glass right there. It takes away one less blind spot, this portion right here, and this is really critical when you're reversing and pulling in and out of your driveway. God forbid, but you know, you could avoid an accident, kids and children playing, and also cats and dogs running around and whatnot. So flag type glass right here, which is not found on the previous model. Alright, so that's it for today's video, comparing the brand new G90 RS4 to the predecessor back to back. I hope you guys liked the video. If so, don't forget to subscribe, CarSceneKorea, like and share the video, and I'll see you in the next video.